בהמשך to סעיף Tazayin, he brings down in Allah Yudzayin that in the corner of the beged, which we said, where is the kanaf bigdayim, 3 agudlin in the corner of the beged. So you have the beged, you have the corner, this whole corner. From where could you start putting the tzitzis? Not lower than a gudol, and not higher than 3 gudlin. 3 gudlin. Not higher than 3 gudlin, which would be around here, and not lower than this, because then it is not al kanfei bigdayim, and it has to be dafke over here. And like we said, the gather of a gudol is where the nail is from the kesher till here. And the whole idea, the honakud in this halacha is that anything which would be ra'ui to use for the tzitzis, you should not sew in that corner. If it's a beged of tzemer, you shouldn't sew anything in tzemer. Flax should be sewing flax in that corner, and the whole zayda is dafke if it is in lavon. But if it's in a different color, ein lavush sewing in that corner tzitzis in a tefillah. Halacha is an gesha ibn Zhuchol ashetach shalakano shroi lahato shames hatzitis dahainu muloi kesher gudol bisfas hatalis tashlesh gudol in any place in the beged of the corner from the space of a gudol, from the bottom of the beged to the 3 agudlin on top of that. Lower than that is not a problem. Higher than the shear of agudol, between the agudl to the shear of 3 agudlin, in that place, wherever it is kosher to sew tzitzis, you shouldn't sew anything else. Lo yesham shum tefer afilu mashu b'chud shahaya roi lasis b'chudim keilu tzitzis talizu. You shouldn't sew anything. Keep going. He explains. Ima talis shel pishton lo yitver sham b'chuti pishton rak b'chuti meshvi kadem. If it is a beged pishton flax, you shouldn't sew their flax. You should sew there, if you need to, made out of silk meshi. And if it is a silk talis lo yitver b'chuti meshi, you shouldn't sew their meshi. Ima talis shel tzemer lo yitver b'chuti tzemer. The same thing is vice versa. There shouldn't be any other shash, any other gzeid of any other threads sewing in that corner of the tzitzis. You only have the tzitzis, and that's it. And the same thing is, you should be machmir that the ibra sabi v'anekiv should not be made out of the same schayre from the baged. It should be different. The whole zois in a rak b'chuti lavon. This is dafke in a white thread avol b'chuti tzavu. If it's colorful in lachush, you don't have to worry. Halacha yud ches. If somebody wants to disconnect the tzitzis from the talis, they bought tzitzis achreis in order to put on different tzitzis. Yoiser yofis, nicer tzitzis, greater tzitzis, stronger tzitzis. Or if one of the strings are ripped, and he wants to put a nice fixed one, even though the ones that are right now there are kosher, he is allowed to take it off and put on kosher, nicer tzitzis. He's not being mevatel the tzitzis, the beged from the mitzvah tzitzis. You should put in their nicer tzitzis. And you be careful not to throw the first ones in a bizayin, in a unproper chobadik place for the tzitzis. Even tzitzis which he took off, or he himself took off, or they ripped, whatever it may be from the talis, lo use it again to throw them into the garbage, not to embarrass the mitzvah, and to disgrace and not to have respect for a mitzvah of the Eibishter. And those that are machmir to put it in the gniz and the shemis, they will be benched. סיman, and there are those that use it for a bookmark. Because you already used it once for a mitzvah, you should continue using it for a mitzvah, and it is not a problem. And it is respectful for the tzitzis. And a talis which was old, it got old, ואין לא יושע עוד למצווה, and he's not using it again, he's not using it for the mitzvah, לא יעשה בו תשמיש מרגונה, אלא זוירקן ואין כלום עליהן. He says the whole idea is that the talis shouldn't be stamazoi disgraced. You should put it away in the right place. And there's a very, very interesting that it's brought down in different places in Gemara, Marcus, and other places in Shas, in the idea of hashkim harim alein ve'im kolim alein. If somebody wants to get rid of his enemy, there's a idea that he wakes up, hashkim, he wakes up, he goes to shul early, v'harib, and he goes out to shul late, and ve'im kolim alein, and the enemies, they are. The Ibishter does the rest of the job. Him calling when they get destroyed, so he brings it down also by the idea of being mechabed, tzitzis, and respecting Hashem's mitzvahs. And those that don't be mechabed, vice versa. We're not going to get into pratim. Halacha chav. In baba Shabbos the basic הכנסת. If somebody comes to shul on Shabbos, motor, shenif, salot, tzitzo, in a house, all of a sudden, after he came to shul, it was a shoygig, it was by mistake. It's not that he knew about it before Shabbos, he only knew about it now in shul. Ve'en mותר talis acheres v'hu is bayesh l'sheves v'talis, and it is not possible to find another tzitzis, and he is embarrassed to ask for another talis. Azai kevon shei efshar lo hayim liksher tzitzis acheres, because on Shabbos it is impossible to tie tzitzis on the beged. Lochein, therefore mishum kavod abriyos, because of respect the breeze himself and others around him, mutar lo lilbosh es hatalis kach, he's allowed to put on the talis even though there's a rip string in the talis. But of course he doesn't make a bracha on such a talis. When is he allowed to put it on and wear it on Shabbos, even though it is Yishayla if it's kosher or not? It's only if he didn't know about it before Shabbos. If he knew about it, what gives him the right to put it on Shul on Shabbos and wear it? He should have fixed it before Shabbos. If somebody decides to wear a beged which is chayv in tzittis and it doesn't have tzittis, he's being mevadal a mitzvah say from the Torah, and therefore it is important that a person should make sure and he checks in the begadim which have four corners that it shouldn't be even on this idea of the beged which is chayv in tzittis and it doesn't have tzittis. So he has to make sure that the beged has not in it, it doesn't have in it four corners. And therefore we find by a kapata, one of the corners is round, and it's not that you sew the corner, you have to cut it. It has to be totally round. You can't tuck it in, you can't fold it, and it can't just be a little bit, it has to be big enough nicker that it is a corner which is round and not square. He gives an example of a beged which has two corners on the bottom and another two corners by the neck. It is a big beged which you wear. He puts it on like an apron or something like that. It has in it four corners. You should be careful. The same thing is with a blanket at night. Could be a problem if he decides to wear the blanket on him. It could be a shaila of chai bציצית. And there's another problem when he wears it in the daytime and nighttime. You could say that in the night there's no chiyuv tzitzis. So if he puts it on the daytime, there's a problem of this beged because it needs tzitzis. It is a four-cornered beged. You have to cut a corner. It has to be totally round. But if he folds it and he sewed it, that it looks like it is round, but he sewed it. The corner is still there. He didn't get rid of the corner. It's just folded and sewed. It's a problem. If it is still on the beged, it's considered beged. It's considered beged even though you can't see it. If it's there, it's there. And there is a great einish a punishment for somebody which is mevatel mitzvah tzitzis, where hazahir mitzvah tzitzis zeiche v'roye b'nei shchina, somebody which is careful in the mitzvah of tzitzis, he will zeiche to see b'nei shchina. It's not a nice story, but it's very, very important that we have to be careful again and again and again in the morning to check the tzitzis and to make sure that it is nice and clean. And then hisna lefanov and gadla shemiti, and the whole idea of imahadir and mimagadl shem avaya and being mahadir in our mitzvahs, and that is a schos to have the pnei shchina and zoltaka zayin the gilui shchina take it from a yad ramish.